I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now starting.
Therapy.
Welcome to the Hey everybody, it's Kaitlyn Bristowe. Welcome to Grape Therapy. And a Grape Therapy it is indeed. We had Rose with a tarot card reader. She's such a special guest. She has read my cards before and always blown my mind. I have sessions with her every once in a while, but she's not only a professional psychic tarot card reader, but she's also an inspiring individual. She has a really powerful story. She went through a lot of struggles in her life and a healing transformation. So it was really cool to talk to her today, and she kind of gives us some tips and tricks to start our own healing journey through tarot card reading. I found so much information about you that I didn't know. I know we met briefly at Bailey's event, and then we did a session over the phone.
Yep.
And you sent me a voice note that resonated. And everybody that knows me and listens to this podcast knows that I'm into anything psychic, anything tarot cards, like anything spiritual, healing, anything like that. I'm just so intrigued by it. And obviously you've got a professional background in all of that. And so thank you for coming on the podcast to talk to me about it today. And you've got a freaking book.
Yes, my new book, The Inner Tarot.
That's so cool, The Inner Tarot. So tell everybody, wait, I love this. On its surface, this is a book about tarot, but at its core, it's offering a radical and revolutionary path to true healing. Who the doesn't want to heal?
Truly. I
is
sure
what
did.
it should have said underneath.
Yeah. If you want to heal, pick this up.
Seriously.
So I just fell in love with the cards and tarot as a practice, and it's become obviously what I do professionally, but also just something I really believe in as a modality.
Tell me why you believe in it. Like, was there a moment where someone read your cards and you were like, holy shit, this is something real?
So what's funny about that is in college, I would see a psychic.
Yeah.
I don't know how legit she was. I don't know how great she was.
Yeah.
But I was just enthralled by it. I thought the practice was so interesting. I thought the way she held space was interesting. It was super feminine. I just thought like it was this unapologetic way to just look at kind of your stuff, pros and cons, highs and lows, flaws and all. And, you know, that really jump-started my own discovery of the cards.
Right.
And I think when I started to pull them and I saw how accurate they were and I started to tune into my own intuition, I was like, there's something here and I can't deny it anymore. And I think I used to label my intuition as anxiety because I was a super highly sensitive child growing up. And I just thought it was like something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then when I started to embrace it, I was like, no, this is actually like a superpower.
Yeah. So I was also a highly sensitive child. I'm still highly sensitive. What made you realize, like what made you say, oh no, this is actually a gift?
Yeah. So I think when I started to share readings with other people and I started to see the impact of like holding that space for my friends and offering those conversations and really just saying what I was truly picking up from them. And then on top of that, I feel like all of this was happening, and I'm sure we'll get into it today, but like my spiritual awakening, so to speak, was happening, and I was going through deep healing work. So energy was just being brought up to the surface for me. And I was like unpacking a lot, but also discovering new parts of myself and coming home to myself in some ways. And I had other psychics, like I was living in Philly at the time, and I had people kind of in that world come up to me and say like, you know, you're a channel, right? And I was like,
oh,
okay.
Really?
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
Isn't that funny how people can see it in you before you can see it in yourself?
100%.
That's amazing. And I know you're all about making it your mission to inspire others to kind of accept their stories, but not only their stories, their bodies, their gifts. Like, can you share with me your personal journey of why this is so important to you?
Yes. So I was recovering from an eating disorder at an early age. So I was in treatment at the age of 19. And then again, when I was about 22, 23, to unpack and heal PTSD and trauma, because I had experienced trauma as a young child. And these two scars, these wounds, were obviously something that I was trying to overcome. And it was a great privilege to have the access to the therapy and the treatment and so on. But it was also becoming my identity. I was like, I'm the girl always in therapy, and I'm not even 25. Like, what is going on here? So I picked up the cards and I started to, you know, at the same time as I was doing this work, I was going to yoga, all that. Just trying to make peace with things and find more comfort. And long story short, I found tarot and I just went right into it. I started to learn as much as I could, absorb as much as I could, because it made me feel like I was actually working with my story to rewrite it rather than being a
Cool.
victim of my story.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, because you're allowed to be a victim to your story because it did happen. I mean, a lot of people say it happened for you, not to you.
Yeah.
And I love that thought. But I mean, I think to have your process and come out of it, you do kind of have to be a victim for a while.
Absolutely.
And you can't just all of a sudden be empowered after something traumatic has happened to you. So it's something that you've gone through. I mean, that's pretty powerful though. If you, that's a really big pivotal time of your life to go through something so traumatic. And I mean, so many people can relate to eating disorders and struggling with body image and so many things, and to find some sort of answer or spiritual awakening through, studying cards and seeing so explain to people about tarot cards.
Okay.
Like, do you believe that when you are shuffling them, when you pull them, when things fall out, is it the energy coming from your body? Is it from your brain? Like, explain
Yes.
to people exactly what tarot cards, what they are and how they work.
They're a tool that you are infusing with your own energy.
Okay.
You are, as you're working with them, as you're processing with them, they're really taking on and absorbing your own energetic field. So in that regard, they are a reflection of you. They become a mirror of you and your own energy that you're putting out. So that's why they do feel very validating often. A lot of people, even if they don't know the cards well, they'll pull a card, read the guidebook, and they're like, this was exactly what I needed to hear. Because it's just kind of becoming like a co-creation between you and them. And in my line of work, like as a psychic as well, I am channeling with them. They're kind of a conduit, but they don't have to be. And I think that's a big misconception, is this idea that they have to be used for divination or fortune telling. They can be used for creative inspiration, for inspiration of like the next best empowered step in your day, a conversation you need to have, an affirmation you can give yourself. Like, it's what you make them,
Well, it's
essentially.
cool too because we can pull a card and our energy can know which card we need to pull over, which card we need to read, what it's going to mean for us. But you get to take it one step further with also having this like psychic in tune ability to kind of read it a bit further and go, I can feel this coming from you, or this is happening in your life. So specifically, this card might mean something to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like taking it that one step further to be able to dive a little bit deeper into what that
Totally.
card could actually mean for you specifically. I know we talked about being highly sensitive, but did you know you had psychic abilities?
No, I definitely did not. That came later. I think I really needed to work through my own healing first. And I think that's one of the things that, psychics in general, it's a responsibility a little bit to offer that to other people and to get in that intimate space of reading energy. So if you're not ready, if you're not grounded, and I certainly wasn't, I was moving through different cycles of the self-sabotage and this and that, and I just didn't know myself yet. But then when I finally did, I was able to piece it together and realize that that's what was going on.
Sometimes I have thoughts in my head, and when they come out, I go, I hope that makes sense, and this is going to be one of them.
No, please.
Like a baby, a child, so intuitive.
The most intuitive state.
The most intuitive state, and they haven't gone through, severe trauma or life experiences or things that jade them. So it makes sense that you'd have to heal yourself first before being able to like tap back into that.
I think the inner child is our best spirit guide.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing readings with clients, like they're always asking me, who are you channeling? What are you channeling? And I don't really define it, like source, spirit, whatever. But more often than not, it's their higher self, their future self, or their inner child. Because those three parts of us, those facets of our own energy, have plenty to say.
Wait, say that again. Higher self,
Future self.
future self.
Who they're becoming. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I said this on a solo podcast I did the other day, which I know like to some of my audience might be like, what the is she talking about? Like, this is so woo. But to some
Story
of
of
them,
my
they'd
life.
be like, I resonate. And I obviously, this is my podcast and I just want to be true to myself. So I talked about it a lot. But I have been so into talking to my child self, talking to my higher power, and talking to, which I didn't even realize till right now, she's this crazy old lady.
You?
She's me. I didn't realize she was me
on.
till right now.
Love that.
She is hilarious, and she doesn't give a
Nope.
And okay, so I realized I always just saw her as like a spirit guide, but now I'm like, holy shit, that's me.
No,
in the
spirit
future.
guides are so funny too.
Oh,
They're just silly. People think they're all wise and serious. No.
and people think I'm crazy because I'm like, I can literally sit close my eyes and have a conversation with my 12-year-old self, my like higher self who doesn't even have a face, she just glows.
Yeah.
And then my, who I thought was my spirit guide, but my future self.
Yeah.
And I can like literally get to what the truth is if I have enough patience.
You
for
get
it.
to the root.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so powerful. That's like honestly what my meditations look like when I'm preparing for a client. I'm welcoming all those parts of them in.
So there's obviously those 3 parts of them, but then do you ever channel in other spirit guides that might come in?
Yes, I will ask, or maybe like a past loved one. I wouldn't say mediumship is like my primary focus. That's not my line of expertise. I'd say, like, for instance, if they're working to become a mother, you know, their future self as a mother, what she has to say and offer them as far as this journey. And it just depends on kind of what they're looking for specifically too.
Yeah. Like right now, for example, you're looking at me.
Yeah.
Do you see things? Do you feel things?
You got little spirit guides on the side.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
How many? Like what?
Like 2.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Your aura's fun.
It
you have
is?
a fun, yeah, you have a fun, like, dynamic aura.
In what way? Like I'm crazy and
No,
also
no.
sensitive? Well, what? I am.
But let's not label it.
Okay. But just different, like it's just fun? It's a fun...
It's dynamic. In the
Okay.
sense, it's not like one note. You're very multifaceted.
Really? Is that rare?
Yes and no. I'd say some people really try to present a particular way.
Yes.
So they're kind of putting off that energy of like having it together or having a certain kind of, I don't know, read.
Yeah.
And you're a little bit more, you seem more open to the idea of the complexity.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Cool.
Very fair.
You're also very intuitive.
Oh.
You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it. It's just more. Sometimes it gets out of hand. How
Because you can't control it, you feel like?
I can't control it, and like it depends on where I'm at in my life. It depends on where I'm at in my freaking cycle as a woman. Sometimes I'm like
That's a
so
whole other part.
clouded in my PMS phase that like I don't even know my ass from my elbow or how I'm feeling, and it could change at any given day. But then there's other times where I'm like, I'll literally say, I'm feeling this. And as a sign, I really want to see just a bunch of red balloons.
You'll ask for it. That's good.
Yes. I swear to God, the other day I said, because I always ask for blinking lights, and blinking lights happen for me all the time. But the other day I was like, I just want to, like, if this is true for me, I really want to see red balloons, like in my face, a lot of red balloons. I open up my Instagram and Harry Jousey starts a podcast, and he walks out of the door
Holding them?
holding about 30 red balloons.
There you go.
And I went, okay. Message received.
There you
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I believe that is part of my intuition.
Those are
like,
really early signs too of like kind of that deepening of your intuition and your psychic gifts. And I will also say really understanding and discerning the message for yourself is so hard. Like I pull cards for myself and I'm like, oh, what the
right, because it could mean so many different things.
Exactly.
Like what? Like for example, I'd be like, "Show me I'm on the right path," and then it blinks, and then I'm like,
But
okay, but what path?
what direction should I go?
How
many steps should I take?
right now?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, I get it. And I think that that is the hard part. So that's where seeing someone, or eventually, like, honestly, for you, if you want to start to exercise your own intuition, reading for other people, pulling cards for other people in your life, your girlfriends, like, it's really validating.
I just never want people to, there's people pleasers out there, and I never want them to just be a yes man to me where they're like, you're so right, Kaitlyn, you did pull the right card, you're genius.
Well, that's what I would tell people. I'd say, like, give me that feedback so I can get stronger at this.
Well, because you believe everyone kind of has some sort of intuition.
I
mean,
do.
we're born with it.
Yeah.
So you think everybody has the ability to kind of tap into these senses. So talk to me about that. How can people do that? Because so many people are going to be like, well, I want to.
Totally. So I think the best thing you can do to get started is to express your creativity, your inner joy, your inner child, be playful. Because our intuition is not, and this is something I like to reframe with my clients a lot, our intuition is not just here to keep us from danger. And I think as we've grown older, we think it's keeping us from the wrong path or the wrong person, and it's this big alarm all the time.
Yep.
Our intuition is supposed to kind of enrich our life and just make it more aligned, more exciting, more beautiful for us, more unique to us. So regressing back to that childlike state and like wearing what you want to wear and not giving a shit what people think. Like all of that is an intuitive expression.
Like you mean wearing boxer shorts
Yes.
cowboy boots?
Perfect.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you wanted to wear that as a kid, but yeah.
I probably did.
Probably.
And you know what? I was forced not to. And my mom,
Yes.
I love you, Mom. I know you're watching. I know you're listening. But we talk about it all the time. she didn't realize how, one, I had OCD, so I could not stand certain feelings of clothes on my body. And I just didn't want to wear certain things. But she was very much like, you will wear this jumpsuit because it's cute and your hair will be like this.
Yep.
And, that's how she was raised and that's how she was raising me. But I just wanted to be different. And I wanted to like escape this costume and this and just be my own person. And she let me be my own person, like personality wise, but very much in clothes and certain things that I was supposed to look like held me back.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like one example. But then I think, so that's intuition as a whole.
Yeah.
And which is a sensation that all of us as human beings can feel. Then there's kind of psychic abilities, which goes to the next layer or next step.
Yeah.
I believe all of us can practice that and learn how to access it. So if you're able to close your eyes and imagine something or daydream about something that's not there, that's your clairvoyance. That's your ability to see something that's not real. This, wine glass in front of me, I could pretend or imagine that the wine is purple and it's not. Like whatever. So that's our psychic senses. To be a psychic or channel in a way confidently, I think just takes a lot of time and patience and trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All things that we all struggle with: time, patience, and trust. What can be so frustrating is not being able to find the right shampoo and conditioner combo. Sometimes it feels like hair care is just a one-size-fits-all deal, but guess what? OUAI is here to change that. They want to give you the confidence to live life your way, especially on wash day. So let me tell you about my experience with OUAI since I cut my hair into my little bob. It needs a bit more volume and it can also get dry at the ends, so I took OUAI's hair quiz, found the perfect match with their fine hair shampoo and conditioner. It kind of gives my hair like a lift without weighing it down, and the shine, oh gosh, the shine's actually changes the whole game for the dry looking ends. So it's incredible. My hair feels so healthy and bouncy. I'm loving it. And if you're not sure about your hair type, no worries, because OUAI has a super easy hair quiz to help you find out. Plus you can stock up and save with their 32-ounce shampoo and conditioner refill pouches. That's a win. It's time to wash your way to healthier hair with shampoos and conditioners made just for you. Go to theouai.com and use code VINE for 15% off your entire purchase. That's the way, theouai.com, code VINE. Okay, let's be real for a second. How many of you have a medicine cabinet full of stuff that just doesn't work or it's expired? You're not sleeping well, your body aches, the stress is real. That was me. But then I did a full cabinet cleanse the other day. Oh, reset not only my brain because of how cluttery it was, but I also reset my health with CBD from CB Distillery. Honestly, game changer for my mood. CB's Distillery products are made with the highest quality clean ingredients, so no fluff, no fillers, just pure effective CBD solutions designed to support your health. And let me tell you, it works. In 2 non-clinical surveys, 81% of customers experienced more calm, 80% said CBD helped with their pain after physical activity, and an impressive 90% said they slept better with CBD. So if you're struggling with like a health concern and haven't found relief, make the switch like I did to CB Distillery with over 2 million customers and a solid 100% money back guarantee. CB Distillery is definitely the source to trust. Plus, I've got a 20% discount to get you started. Visit cbdistillery.com and use code VINE for 20% off. That's cbdistillery.com, code VINE. cbdistillery.com. If you feel disconnected from your intuition, because I was talking about this with, I have this intuitive spiritual coach that I use. And we're talking a lot about being disconnected from your intuition because like as a child you are, and then all these things happen to you in life to remove yourself from it. And we talked a bit about how to tap back into it, but what would be your advice if somebody wants to like reconnect with their intuition, their ability, their anything gift that they have?
I love this question.
Okay, good.
Because it's more simple than people want it to be.
I bet.
It's grounding into your body. Because think about what channeling is.
Yeah.
Perfect. Bringing in other energy, asking for more, calling in more is giving a lot of shock to our nervous system. So your nervous system has to be prepared. Your body has to feel safe and grounded. So back to the original or earlier question of like, did you already know you were psychic? I didn't, because my body didn't feel safe and good. I was dealing with my eating disorder, overcoming sexual trauma. So my body was not in a space to be regulated and actually take that on.
So sorry you had to go through that too.
It's okay. It did lead to like what I do and the way that I try to work with women now. But yeah, I'd say ground your body.
Yeah.
And really feel comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, and that is such a hard thing to do with people. A lot of people have some serious trauma. And how did you get through that trauma? How did you do your healing to get to a place where you did feel safe in your own body?
The therapy was a lot.
Yeah.
EMDR was
Yeah.
helpful,
Oh, yeah.
which is very somatic. Somatic therapy, yoga was incredibly helpful. DBT, because it's very tools based,
Yeah.
so it's all around mindfulness. Things that really showed me how to rewire and resituate myself in a way that's going to like remind myself of my safety and therefore tap me back into like my presence.
Yeah. Time, patience,
Patience.
yeah, trust, all
All of
those
the
things.
above.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's a really long journey to.
Yeah.
You're probably still on the journey, but
Yes.
you're in such a better place. So, could you share like a personal experience where you followed your intuition and it led to like some sort of significant outcome?
So I think one of the hardest aha moments with my cards in particular was I was preparing to leave a relationship, but it was taking me like years. And I remember I was pulling cards consistently and they're like, it's time to go. And I didn't want to listen. And then one day I woke up, my card deck was like on the other side of the room, and in the middle of the living room floor was the death card. And I was like, heard. I got it. And sure enough, like I literally said something to him the next day, moved to LA within 2 weeks, and my life completely opened up. And I knew that that's what needed to happen. And like, as much as I respect that time in that chapter, it's just funny now looking back, my entire body was just like sending clues constantly. I could feel it and I wasn't ready to listen.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you do, it's like a domino effect.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me so many times in my life where it was like slapping me in the face with like not only like tarot card readings, psychic readings,
Yeah.
signs from the universe, my gut, my whole intuition, everything's slapping me in the face, screaming at me. And I'm like, I don't think I hear you.
I don't think I heard it.
Why do we do that? Why are we so scared?
I think we're just afraid of change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But what
simple.
I tell people who are like really grappling with their intuition and they're like, I don't know, it could be anxiety, it could be intuition. I tell them there's 3 results that can happen.
Yeah.
You can either get to a better outcome sooner. You can either be pleasantly surprised, something unexpected happens that makes you really excited, or you learn a difficult lesson sooner. You get to move on from it sooner.
All plus,
Yes.
too. Like nothing negative out of that. And if you
No.
did make a mistake and like say you left the relationship
Yeah.
and you made a mistake, if that relationship is right for you, it'll
He
work.
probably would have taken me back.
Yeah, exactly. It's we overcomplicate everything in our lives, and it's cool to have tools such as therapy, such as tarot cards, things that like we're all different in so many ways of what works for us. I know you use tarot cards a lot for healing. How personally has that helped for healing with you? Like, do you really like because you obviously know that you're energetically flipping cards, and so is it just healing to validate yourself
It's
like
very
that?
validating.
Yeah.
It's confirming. It's a way for me to channel. It gives my body something to do when I'm accessing my intuition, gives my
Yeah.
hands something to do. So it's more tactile for me at this point. Professionally, it kind of like the cards sort of open up a lot of the energy. They start to tell me the story and they start to feed me information, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling into them. But personally, yeah, it's just like an old friend. They feel like a third arm in my
Yeah.
life. Like it's just become so common. Even in my household, like friends come over, there's decks all over. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
nothing. I really try to demystify any like taboo or any stigmas around them. They're nothing to fear. It's not witchcraft. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little witchy, but
Yeah.
it's, it's something to
Fancies.
really appreciate.
The basic principles, the history of tarot card readings, like do you know when it started?
The 15th century.
15th century.
Yes, it started in Italy as a playing card game. So that's all it was.
No
It was just
way.
a game. And then over time, it started to take on, different origins and ideas of what it is. But it started as a playing card game, and people would like commission their own personal deck. So they would have an artist
Yeah.
draw it for them. And it was supposed to represent them. And they would get around and pull cards and tell stories. We
That's
love
cool.
storytelling. Human beings just want to get together
It's
and
why
chit
I
chat.
fell in love with wine.
Yeah.
I would go to wineries and hear the stories about how the wine was made, how it's in their family, there's
love that.
stories for everything.
Yeah.
And we forget that in our life right now because we all just want like a 20-second reel or video
Yeah.
that's
An elevator pitch of sorts. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So if somebody's interested in getting, like my friend I was just telling you about who's
Mm-hmm.
like got the tarot cards. I have tarot cards. But if they are beginners who are interested in learning how to read tarot cards, like
Mm-hmm.
what would you suggest?
I would suggest pulling a card a day.
Okay.
Yeah, pull a card a day.
And then just looking up what that means.
Yes,
and,
but I
okay.
would test yourself a little bit first. I would look at the imagery.
Okay.
I would take a second to kind of feel into it and be like, oh, I'm picking this up from it. This is the emotion I feel when I see this picture in front of me
Yeah.
and jot those things down, because then when you read about them, you're going to realize how accurate you were.
Yeah.
And that's going to be
Oh,
really nice.
interesting.
Yeah,
Again, validating.
always.
That's cool. So I am such a sucker for Instagram ads or signing up for something, especially if it has to do with spirituality or something. So I get these emails once in a while where it's like, pick a card and it's a tarot. Do you believe that has the same impact?
Not the same
Yeah.
as a personal reading, but I do think it's a beautiful way to show you that it's safe to keep dabbling. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, it's a nice entry point. It's
Yeah.
also just a fun way to keep expressing. Like, I think this is a feminine practice. This is a fun practice. It's supposed to be joyful. So
Yeah.
if like that brings you a hit of dopamine, you're excited about it, cool.
true.
Just as long as you know that it's not the full story.
And what about, on TikTok, they go, stop scrolling if this one is for you.
I need to have a sip of wine.
Okay. And they're like, this is, I'm getting full body chills. This is for you specifically. This is happening. Something big is coming for you. Are they doing that because they will get more likes, more views? Is it manipulative?
It's theatrical. I don't want to say it's manipulative.
Performative?
It's performative.
Okay.
I think that there is no way to read a collective that
Right.
viscerally.
Because obviously you were going to keep watching if it's something we
Yeah.
want to hear. But if it's not, I go, boop.
To me, it's
Yeah.
not my favorite way of showing tarot or divination or psychic work in general, because I just really respect the boundaries of it. And I feel like to have someone approach you and want the reading is really important. There's like the consent piece
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, that's my biggest issue with it. But the other side of that is it's opened up this understanding and this language of what tarot is that some people might have never known about or even realized. Like, I think before, our relationship, my husband had never really seen a deck of cards. He had no idea. So if it's going to bring awareness, I'm all for it.
And now, does your husband believe in it? Does he get you to read?
Yes, he does.
Really?
He believes in it. I can't read for him.
How come?
Because it's just too
Oh,
close.
too close. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes actual perfect sense.
But he'll pull cards for me, which is really nice because it's like a third party perspective.
Oh, that's
But I
cool.
also married the most pragmatic person in the world.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, okay, whatever you say.
Oh,
Because I'm based entirely on vibes. So
Yeah.
every decision I make is that. And he's like really looking through the pros and cons.
okay. I think a lot of people out there would want to live their life making decision based on vibes.
Yes.
I am like every day thinking about what brings me high vibrations, low vibrations. I am starting to even like lessen my gossip and like certain things that I used to feed myself to feel good.
The
but
music you listen to.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean everything. The food I eat.
Totally. I'm very particular about like restaurants, like food and eating out. I'm
Yeah.
just like, not because I'm like a health freak.
Yeah.
I'm actually a foodie. I love it.
Love food.
But I can feel a lot of the like energy that was put into the food. For me, as someone like pretty sensitive and like needing to stay grounded in this work, I'm like, I just rather cook at home. Like,
Yeah.
I want to like protect my peace.
Yeah.
Whoever comes in my home, that type of thing.
What is the rise of energy vortexes?
So energy vortexes, and I am no expert, but energy vortexes are certain places in the world that are very high vibrational. So like Sedona is one.
Yeah,
That's where
yeah.
I got engaged. And you can just feel it. You can
Yeah,
feel more in
you
tune.
can.
Yeah. So, but I also believe that you can make that sort of feeling and that vortex in your home as well. So you can start to bring that same kind of intention and create an ideal kind of recipe of energy so that when you tap into your home, you're tapping into your best self. And that's where you're recharging and you're letting
I'm
loose.
doing that in my house.
Are you?
Yes.
Because you
so
have a new home?
I have a new home, and it's so funny because I kind of did this where when I was looking at homes, I needed to feel the right energy in
Yep.
there. I needed to feel like it was a sanctuary. I needed to feel like the vibes were high.
You're speaking my language.
And it was so crazy because my realtor was like, "You're not going to get a better price than this," and I'm like, "Am I going to get a better feeling than this?" And so the house that I bought, I just feel. And it's interesting now because I've had dog sitters or friends or people, and I can tell if they're intuitive or take on energy because they'll walk in and they'll be like, "Oh, it's so
nice in
calming
here."
in here.
Yeah.
Like there's something about the energy in this house." And I'm like, "Yes." But also I'm creating a room in my house that is like drapes of like sheer drapes and
Beautiful.
like a manifesting pod and pillows everywhere. And I want it to be this room where you just go to like absolutely no cell phones allowed.
None.
Like it's there to make you feel recharged. It's where you can manifest. It's where you can visualize like anything that you want.
We should look at what corner of, or like where We can talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. I'll have to look at my layout of my house, but I thought it was
what you're doing is really intentional.
Yes.
Which is everything. And I know what you mean. Like, I'll have friends come over and they like fall asleep on my couch. And I'm like, that's such a compliment. Like, you feel safe. You feel good. And I love that you're bringing like a specific room kind of to the surface as like a manifestation space or like a centering space for you.
So energy vortexes, they don't have to be in specific places. You can create them.
I don't know enough about the science of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's becoming increasingly relevant in conversations, and I'm just so curious about it. It's a vortex. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you ever catch yourself scrolling, doing the doom scroll, social media, wishing your life looked like someone else's? Guilty. Even I do it. I'll admit it. It's easy to get caught up in just the cycle of wishing your life looked like someone else's. I feel like people do this all the time. It is very easy for people to get caught up in that cycle of envy, but remember that comparison is the thief of joy. Say it over and over. Those perfect Instagram lives, probably not as perfect as they seem. All the posts, not as perfect as they seem. Therapy can be a game changer in helping you focus on what you want instead of what others have. It really empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it helps you learn positive coping skills and set healthy boundaries, and it's just not for major trauma. Therapy is for anyone wanting to improve their mental health and overall well-being. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So just fill out a brief questionnaire so that you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapist at any time, no additional charge. So my sweet vinos, here's your reminder. Please stop comparing and start focusing on just you. Visit betterhelp.com/fine today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/fine. Okay, apartments.com has more rental listings than anywhere else. So finding the perfect place is easier than ever, and so is finally moving in together. Just the two of you. It's a really big step, lots of new responsibilities, lots of adjustments. Most likely they'll wake you up at odd hours to go to the bathroom, and you'll most definitely find yourself in trouble coming home late for dinner. They might even unroll all of your toilet paper next time. It's just what happens when you two find a new place together. But you're not doing it because you feel like it. No, you're doing it because you love them, because they're family. And that's why apartments.com has the most pet-friendly rental listings on the internet, so that you and your furry family can find the perfect new place together. Apartments.com, the place to find a pet-friendly place. What are like some energy protection rituals people can do to protect their energy?
Great question. So I would say, again, keep it pretty simple, because then it's going to be more sustainable. So like my go-tos, as simple as it sounds, after I do a bunch of readings for clients and taking on their energy, is I go for a walk. And I think about the elements. I think about not just the movement of my body, which is obviously grounding, but I think about as my feet hit the pavement or the ground or the grass, like releasing through the bottoms of my feet, letting go. I think about the sun replenishing and giving me something really high vibrational. I wash my hands. I take an Epsom salt bath. I take a shower and let it hit my crown and just wash over me. Like, just this intentionality behind the things that we already do as human beings, but just thinking about it as manipulation of our own energy, moving the energy as we see fit, shaking my arms, getting it all off. Too. You know what I mean? Like having a little tantrum.
It's, tantrum queen over here.
Hey.
It's just so interesting because I've noticed over the years that part of protecting my energy has been to not go to influencer events. So not that I'm against them, not that I am better than them, not that I think people who go are, you're just doing this. To me, it protects my energy because I take on people's energy so much. And in a room of people who are, somebody's trying to network,
There's a lot of ego in the room.
A lot of ego in a room. And it actually makes me angry.
Yeah.
And I start feeling icky. And again, I'm not saying you'll never catch me at an event. Like,
I know, if I see you on Instagram.
Yeah, oh my gosh, like I'm all over that stuff. Like it's part of my job, but I'm starting to be aware of how certain rooms make me feel and how certain people make me feel. I'm more mindful of protecting that.
And it's super important. And like you travel a lot, so that's a helpful time too. But to watch your body disconnect from those experiences and release before going into your home.
Yeah.
Making sure that you don't bring one into the other.
Yeah.
You don't mix.
It's interesting. I don't know when we're all going to realize how much energy matters. I'm slowly learning. I'm 38, so I mean, it could take
you've been on
people
quite a
lifetime,
journey.
but I am on a journey right
It's
now.
wonderful.
Let me tell you.
It's so wonderful.
How do you think listeners can incorporate this into their daily like wellness routines? Like some of us wake up and meditate, some of us work out at the gym, some of us have these routines. How can we incorporate this kind of thing?
I think knowing what's going to work for you and doing it every single day.
Yeah.
So like even if I'm at the gym or something, I might be thinking about and moving through my meditation in my head of energy release and energy clearing, and no one needs to know.
Yeah.
You know, or another great example is like before bed, writing down all your thoughts, just kind of like brain dumping into the page.
Yeah.
That is an
So
energy
it's not
release.
stuck in here.
Yeah.
It's mini
Just
sleep.
doing so. I think just the action, and in my book I paired an action and a practice with every single card, because a lot of people will pull a tarot card and they're like, yeah, that resonates, like that makes sense. Now what?
Now what?
What do I do with it?
Totally.
You know?
Oh, so you have an action.
Yes.
I love that. So did you bring tarot cards?
I did. I did. I see them right there.
Can
Look
you
how cute.
do?
Yeah,
Can
why
you-
not?
Oh my gosh. I was hoping you were into doing a little tarot card reading with me.
Okay.
You think it changes any energy when there's cameras and
Oh,
pressure?
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. A little
So
bit.
what-
It's just a lot. There's a lot of pressure all around. Yeah, the
Yeah.
hermit card. It's like, can I go home now? Can you take me back home? What would you like to look at specifically, though?
Okay. Ooh. Oh,
Is
yeah.
this for
So,
you
like,
or listeners?
can we do both, or is that? Do we have
yeah.
time? Me and then the listeners, but let me think of what I would want. So it could be like career, relationship, my personal self, my personal growth.
Yeah.
For the purpose of entertaining my listeners, let's do relationships.
They're going to love that.
Okay.
I did feel called to say, don't play small in any decisions you make with your brand, business,
Don't play
professional.
small.
Don't play small.
Okay.
Just, yeah. Trust and believe in yourself.
Okay.
Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a card of like new communication, announcements, declarations, communicating truthfully.
Okay.
So I think as far as relationship goes, there could be a lot of themes about like really strong communication, how to hone that, how to have that. And I'm speaking about relationships, yes, romantically, but all relationships, you know, really being in that vibration of truth and trust.
LOL, because I always consider myself a really good, strong communicator. And somebody recently just told me that they need me to be better. And
So you're like reframing that a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. And leaving behind old tactics and old ways that you expressed your emotions.
Yeah.
That's 8 of Cups. Okay. 6 of Wands. And you're removing ego from your communication too.
Oh, yes. That's literally the biggest, that's what I'm going
Yeah.
to therapy for right now, is removing my ego from communication.
There you go.
Truly.
Who needs therapy? I'm kidding.
Yeah. who
I'm
needs therapy?
joking. I'm the
not
biggest
sure.
proponent. But yeah, I definitely see a lot of like shifting towards something more authentic, more
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Any other follow-ups to that?
I mean, I'm just so done with the performative bullshit, and
Yeah.
I just want so much realness in my life.
And you feel like relationships in your life also feel the same. Like they're
Like-
on that same path as you.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm choosing to find people that are aligned
Yeah.
with that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. You have a really strong like BS meter right now.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Yes,
justice
I
card
do.
is here. Is like you don't take any shit. That's good for you.
I'm starting to not take any shit.
It takes a while.
Wait, I like the justice card because I'm always seeking justice.
Are you?
Well, then
What's
my
your sign?
Gemini.
Okay, so you're an air sign. That's
I'm
why you
Gemini,
like it.
but very Cancer, Cancer moon, sun.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So you have a nice little blend there.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Justice. Oh, my therapist and my intuitive coach, they're like, you don't want to seek justice. You just want to be seen and heard and loved.
Yeah, you just want fairness.
Yeah.
The lover's card.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Should we do something
Cool.
for your
Yes.
audience?
So let's maybe for audience, just like for their personal growth, I
think
feel
that's
like.
smart. Funny. Same card as yours.
Really?
Yeah, the first one. Queen of Cups. Do not limit your emotions. Do not apologize for your emotions. Let yourself take up space emotionally, sensitive beings that we are. Like, be that fully. You know, if there's any like shame in the creative expression or expression of like your feelings, that's something that's gonna just kind of keep
See,
you.
that's so funny because it doesn't resonate with me, but it's going to for
It's going to someone
people
else,
of,
yeah. And I also see like a little bit of a cycle of like hustle culture, like the feeling of like I have to prove, I have to show up. Like, no, I can't honor that part of myself or my heart right now. That's not in my best interest. And I'm here to say it's going to expedite the process. It's going to give you more momentum. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let yourself be seen for emotions. So that's not for everyone. And I always say that after any collective reading, it's going to
Yeah.
be for some.
Yeah. I do think a lot of people feel shame around their emotions.
Totally.
but nobody really dives into why those emotions are there and give themselves grace for it, because something has happened along the way for you that have made you have these emotions or hold back on these emotions or process them differently, you know? So it's like, give yourself grace and dig into the why.
Feel them fully.
And feel them.
Feel it to heal it.
Feel it to heal it, baby.
Yes.
That's so true.
We all kind of numb. We numb a lot. And that's the thing about like everything that we talked about today has to do with this idea of allowing the sensitivities to come up, not being afraid of them, and looking at them as intuition and as a compass, as a guideline.
It's interesting because I'm like so blessed to have somebody like my dad who is 30 years sober and has truly learned to live day by day in what matters. And he's become like spiritual and just really about, you know, how to live your life.
He's a little soulmate of yours too.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm the same way with my dad.
Really?
We have a really close relationship.
Oh, it's so special.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
literally so special. And I just feel so lucky that I've like had that as an influence in my life. And it's so cool because I feel like, I don't know if he has ever done tarot cards, but I feel like get so into
You'd
it.
probably like it.
Yeah, he would love
Let him
it.
know I'm available.
I know. I will.
Send him my way.
I'm thinking because so you did a card reading for me not that long ago.
Yeah, a few months ago.
And it's funny because I was saying I wish I listened to it before we started again, because I know you were telling me specifically, I remember you telling me that kind of similar of what we already just said, like pushing out the bullshit radar and just coming into your truth and how that can be sticky and muddy and like
You're almost
questioning.
simplifying in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And getting there. And I feel like that really has been my last few months. Like I feel like I've been going through it, but in a way to get more clear and more aligned with my true self. And I feel like it's like happening.
That excites me. Yeah, your reading was really fun.
It was, I want to do it again. So how often do you recommend someone does readings?
Most of my clients see me every like 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
I think any sooner, it's like, because you kind of want to implement the changes or you want to take action based on what we talked about.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm like available for quick pulls, but
Yeah.
for like full sessions. Yeah.
Yeah. And where can people find your book, what you do, who you are?
So my book is The Inner Tarot, and it's available wherever books are sold. And my website is katevanhorn.com and Instagram as well.
Was there anything else that you wanted to say or talk about
No,
before?
I just so appreciate this was really
I love
fun.
this stuff so much.
I know. I feel like you're really diving in.
It
You're into all of
lights
it
me
too. Astrology, all of it.
It's so funny because every time I'm always like, oh, what sign are you? And then they tell me and I'm like, cool, I've no
I don't
idea.
know what to. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
But I'm intrigued by it. So I want them to tell me or I want
get
to
it.
look it up or do something. But what is your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, see, and I love Capricorns.
Do you? Because you have a lot of Cancer.
Is that
We're sister signs. Yeah.
okay? Because I feel like Capricorns like to be taking, like you like nurturing,
Yeah.
and
Or we have
comfort.
Totally.
Yes.
We like stability. We
Yes.
like feeling secure.
Yes.
Yeah. And as a Cancer, you like to provide that too.
Yes. As a Gemini, I fight that, but I'm a Cancer.
I'm a Gemini
so.
moon.
Ah.
I'm a Gemini moon. My husband's a Gemini. Some of my best friends are Geminis.
Yeah.
I find it really dynamic. It's fun. There's banter. There's
Yeah.
silliness.
Yes.
That's where kind of your silliness comes from.
Oh, 100%. I feel like when I read about Geminis, I'm like, yes. You know how Geminis have that duality where it's like two, that's it. It feels like
The
I'm
twins.
silly and I'm sensitive.
Perfect blend.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
This was so great.
I would like to do something like every time I come to LA or like, I just love having this kind of energy on
woo-woo
my
girlies.
Yes. I feel like I'm like slowly but surely like turning all of my listeners into woo-woo girlies.
They're here for it. We're all on the same journey.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now ending. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind a rating and review.